Hi Stampers, this is Kim with Great Inspirations. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is almost April, spring is definitely here, and I myself am getting ready to do some gardening. And one of the things my husband and I do every year is we have two patches of land that we plant flowers on. In one patch we plant cosmos, but in the other patch we plant zinnias. Yes, zinnias. Now, I know some of you say zinnia, some of you say zinnias, but where I live, it's zinnias. Why? I don't know. It was the same with, some of you may remember the peony stamp, and some call it peony, but here where I live, they're pineys. So we just have a different way of talking around here, which isn't that different from other places around the country. But today we are going to look at some cards that I have used, that I have made using the Simply Zinnia stamp set. And that is from Stampin Up. It's right here. And it has coordinating dies. But this cannot be found in the catalog, this stamp set and the dies, so the bundle, and other products that go with it in a suite called Flowering Zinnia. You can see all of those in the online store. And in the description of this video, I will put a link to that store. But for now, we're just going to focus on the stamp set and the dies. And then as we go through the cards, we'll see some of the other products included in the suite. Now, here are the images stamped out, as I like to do. As you can see, there are 3 images, the lovely little bouquet of zinnias here, the single zinnia, and the leaves. And this, I just noticed, did not stamp that well. Here it is, it's right here. It's those tiny little florets that are in the center of the zinnias. And then there are 3 greetings. Words fail to express my gratitude, sending flowers and thinking of you, and thanks so much. So these are cling stamps, which means they're red rubber, and they will just stick right to your blocks. So there are the flowers, and then here are the dies. Not the flowers, the stamps. Here are the dies. As you can see, we have dies that cut out the 3 images, these 3 images of the stamp set. And then we have some dies that you can build your own zinnia. There is the stem, and there's a shorter stem with leaves. There's a leaf. And then we have petals that you can cut out, die cut multiples and layer. Then we have these smaller little blossoms, some other little greenery for the flowers, the center of the flower, and then this little ring of florets that you would see around the zinnia in the center. And then some of the little, these are like little stars. This is all one die. And they're basically more of these little florets. And if you wanted, you could even layer these over the top of these to give more of a 3D effect. So here's the stem, a leaf, and then if you wanted to just have the shorter stem, put your flower, one of these little florets on top even, and then just some other greenery. You could create your own zinnias. So that's just an overview of the stamp set and the dies. And now let's take a look at the cards. So I decided to just do some simple cards today, and we'll walk through how I did each card, because sometimes it's nice to kind of have a review, and sometimes I like to make fun folds, but sometimes it's nice to go back to just some basics, which this one, it can be considered a fun fold. It's just a very simple gate card. Enjoy today. Open it up and it says happy birthday, and of course we have one of the zinnias out here with the leaves and one inside. This is what I call a faux window card. When we make a window card, we usually put some designer series paper over the top of our card front, and then we'll take a die, maybe run it through, put the die here, run it through a die cut machine, and then we'll have a hole that goes through the matte layer here and our card front. But this one isn't like that. We've simply cut a circle from designer series paper, and then I've backed it with some cardstock to give it that look of a window card, but it isn't. So when you open it, there's still a full panel in here. So now, I thought this was really pretty. That's the little bouquet there of zinnias. And then this, it's one of the 3D flowers. I just cut out 3 of the little flowers there, adhered them together, and of course I popped it up back here on a dimensional. Have a die cut happy birthday. As you can see, I've stamped with lemon lolly some of this image of the zinnia, and then I just added a few little sequins and a little bit of twine. And this is just a card that it opens like this. So it's a long ways instead of a short ways. It opens from the top as opposed from the side. Well, this one did too, didn't it? Yeah. But so we're going to walk through these cards, but we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to see what these images look like in some other colors. We're also going to take a closer look at some of the designer series paper, because this design and this design and this design are all from the Flowering Zinnias designer series paper, which is also found in the online store. So let's get started. We'll do the gatefold first. And the measurements and everything, all the supply list, all of that will be found on my corresponding blog post, and the link to that blog post will be in the description of this video. So for this gatefold card, we will need, of course, a card base. And I'm going to use Calypso Coral for the card that we'll put together right now. And it's 8.5 by 5.5. And then you score it at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. Or you can score it at 2 1/8, turn your paper around, and score at 2 1/8. Then we're going to fold our flaps towards the center. We're going to take the bone folder and just kind of burnish those score lines to help our card lie flat. So there's our card base. And then for the inside of the card, as you can see, I just have some basic white in here that I've stamped a happy birthday and put the flower. So that's what we have here. And it's 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go right in here, so let's just put that in there right now. I'm going to center it in here as best you can. And there's that. And we can put our flower in here. We have our leaves, we'll put those on first. And you can put it wherever you care to put it. I put mine over here to the left. You can certainly put it to the right or wherever you would like Just going to stick with keeping it at the left. And there's the inside of our card. Now we're going to put some Designer Series paper. I have two here, and this is Petal Pink, and this is from the Flowering Zinnias Designer Series paper. And it is the opposite side of this. So we're going to just put some adhesive on here. And these are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Got that just a tad crooked. There we go. And one more. Okay, now we're going to make our little flap, and for this I used the deckled circle dies, but you can use any dies you have that layer. You can use circles, you can use squares, whatever you have. This one I think is about 3 1/4 inches across. So, no, I don't think that's right. Wait a minute. Yep, it's the one that's about just about 3 1/4 inches diameter. And then this one is 2 3/4. So anything you have that's close to that size will work. So we have the basic white and the Calypso Coral, and we're just going to adhere those together. And now I'm going to decide where I want my flower. We have a greeting right down here, so we want to make sure we have room for that. And it says enjoy today. I have that right here. And that is actually from the Beach Day stamp set. But you can put any greeting you like. So I'm going to just kind of put my flower where I think I want it here and stamp, and I'm going to use some Calypso Coral. There we go. There's our greeting. And now we can place our flower on there. We'll do the stem first, and I'm going to use some adhesive. I'm only going to put it near the bottom because my leaves are going to hang over just a little. Get this back for some reference here. And we're going to put this on some dimensionals. Place it where you like it, and then we'll put it on our card, and you can put it, center it from the top to bottom, side to side if you like. You can put it a little closer to the top like I did here. It's all, you know, your preference, but when we put the adhesive on, we just want to put it on this side. So I'm going to flip it over and just put some adhesive on the side that I want, this left side, because we don't want to adhere our card closed. And there we go. Now I use some gems on here, so we'll use some. And these are, I can't remember, Blooming Pearls. They carried over from the September through December catalog. I'm going to use the gold ones. Just use 3 of them. And there we go. There is our gatefold card. Now we'll do our faux window card. I think this is about my favorite of these 3. This I used some lemon lolly and lemon lime twist, but for this one we're going to use some Highland Heather. And here's the image that I stamped, colored, and die cut. And here is some designer series paper, and this is from the Flowering Zinnias, and this is what's on the other side. Then, as you can see here, I used some lemon lolly, but I'm using basic white for this. Now, I have cut mine 4 by 5 1/4 because that's the size of my designer series paper. But you can cut it smaller. If you wanted, you could even cut a circle of it, and just once you put this here, just put your circle, your die cut circle right there. That's up to you. But the die I used to cut this out is from the Everyday Details die. It's the largest circle. And I think it also is about, I think it's 3.5 inch diameter. So again, any die that you have that's approximately like 3.5, 3 1/4, 3 inches even, you can use. And you don't have to use a circle. You can use squares, rectangles, whatever you care to use. And then we have our card base, and this is opens from the top. So it's 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5.5. And here's our inside, which I've just stamped this image, and this is Gorgeous Grape. And then I stamped the greeting, sending flowers and thinking of you. So we can adhere this to the inside of our card. And there's that. And now we're going to adhere this to the basic white. Just do the best you can to line everything up. There we go. And now we need to position our flowers, and we will have, when we put this on here, there will be just a tad bit of space for any leaves or flowers that need to hang over a little bit, to hang over just a tad. Okay? But we need to get our greeting, and on this one I use the Trust in the Lord with All of Your Heart, and that is from the Courage and Faith stamp set. So here's another sentiment from that, and it's May the Lord bless and keep you. So we're going to kind of get our flowers where we think we'll want them. To get this over just a tad. Okay, so I need to stamp right on the very edge here, okay? We'll get some Gorgeous Grape ink. Clear over to the edge. And there we go. Now we can put our flowers on here. Actually, let's put this on here because I'm going to put these on dimensionals, and then we can maybe line it up better when we have it on the actual card base. So if a little bit hangs over, we can know we are not going past our card base. Just putting some adhesive. Line it up as best you can. There we go. Now we'll get some dimensionals. I'm going to try to keep these more in the middle down here because we don't know how far our leaf may go over. Okay. Let's see here. I think I have one more. Yep. Okay. Oh. Just needs to come over just a little bit more. And there we go. As you can see, I've put some little butterflies here, so let's do that. These are the brushed brass butterflies. That one just doesn't want to leave its adhesive. We'll get another one. And we'll get a smaller one. And there we go. So there is our faux window card. And now we'll move on to our little 3D flower card. And for this one, we're going to use some Melon Mambo and some Designer Series paper. It's real red and some little Melon Mambo X's in there. And it is more from the Designer Series paper, the Flowering Zinnias. As you can see, it has a tone-on-tone look there with some zinnias, and so that's what I created on our card base. There we go. So we've just stamped these first, just sort of randomly, and then here's our inside, enjoy today, and then I've just stamped the one flower. Let's just get that right in there. I think I need to move a few things here. There we go. And now we're going to put Designer Series paper on here. It's going to go from the top to the bottom of the card. You can leave as much space here as you want. I'm going to use about, maybe it's a ½ inch.